What is up, FIFA Tiers, and welcome back to the FUT Tiers Podcast, or at the moment, it's more like 2.5 FUT Tiers Podcast, as both myself, Brad, and Mers are all back, but when we introduce ourselves, you'll kind of get why. Introduce yourselves, lads.
Hello.
There you go. That is not dramatic,
enough.
That's accurate.
That is enough. Yeah, I'm all good though. All healthy and happy here.
All good. But obviously back for another week. Another week that's been interesting in FIFA. Obviously, new promo was sort of announced last week with the tokens that came out. It's Future Stars Team 1. So that's obviously got some very good players in there. I've invested in some of them, expecting another SBC. So when you're hearing this, you'll probably know whether I've been an idiot or not. Normally, it's always I'm being an idiot when it comes to investing. But the team in question, including a mini release that happened on Sunday, now includes some of the following players. And tell me if there's anyone that you're excited for here. We've got Bellingham, Vlahovic, and Smith Rowe.
Yep. So two of them.
I'm upset Smith Rowe's a cam. I've won him as a left mid for my Leipzig team, my Leipzig past and present. Tchouaméni, Damsgaard, and Pedro Porro.
Yeah, so Tchouaméni, I mean, like his 84 was disgusting. In point of fact, his 81 or 82 was disgusting. So yeah, I'd like to see that card.
Damsgaard looks pretty amazing.
Yeah, he looks alright, doesn't he? Like he had some really nice looking stats for a left mid, but it's just the awkwardness of getting him in the squad, I suppose. But if you're pretty much Serie A based, then you're alright. So
I mean, it's a strong link to Christian Eriksen, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll wait for his special card.
At least at the moment. Well, he's gone to Brentford.
Yeah, hopefully there's going to be like a team transferred refresh winter. We want some more money promo.
No, I think they'll just secretly do it anyway. I mean, they already did it with the level 15 season reward, which really annoys me.
Yeah.
But moving on with the rest of the team, we've got Kanate, who I'm happy about. Mateus Cunha, who I'm also happy about. These are all players that would make it into my Leipzig past and present team. João Pedro, Ndika, Trincao, Goncalo, Ramos, Gakpo, Botman, and that's pretty much the main team.
Yeah.
With the 3 in the mini release being Ferran Torres, Elmas, and Tomiyasu.
Oh, yes.
We're going to get position changes next week as well.
I'm looking forward to his centre-back card next week. Good.
Yeah, it does. From what you can see on the news menu, it does look like it would be a nice card. The fact he's naturally got a 5-star weak foot goes a long way there as well. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I see that and I go, yes, that looks great. As annoying as it is that Spurs let him go to Arsenal instead when we were linked in the whole window. But there's a few eye-catching ones in there. I know I've personally got my eye on, as I said, Cunha, Kanate, and Smith Rowe as left mid.
Yeah, Smith Rowe looks very, very nice. I'd like to try out the Jude Bellingham, because again at the start of the game I had his base card in my team, and then I haven't really used his informs, but I'd heard good things about his second inform.
I'd used his first inform. I didn't use the second, but I've used his first.
So I'd like to see what that card's like. I'm hoping that if we manage to get some in our bonus draft builder episode, then I'm hoping that we'll be able to get to use them afterwards. It'd be nice to see some of these. I think, the one that stands out most to me though is the Tchouaméni. I just think I want to see what that card is like, because his inform was disgustingly good. So, yeah, I look forward to seeing that.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, the Ferran Torres, if we're looking at very, very good cards, is up there. It reminds me of
Ansu Fati?
Last year's... Yeah, about to say the Ansu Fati Future
looked
Stars
almost carbon copy, doesn't it?
It does.
Just a little bit less pace.
Only down to the new kit.
Yeah.
It's the only difference.
A little bit less pace. Other than that, they pretty much look really similar. I'd like to get them up side by side to compare.
I'd want to compare them side by side.
In-game stats, just to see.
Linear.
Yeah. That is I feel like it's going to be like that meme that they have, like the Scooby-Doo meme, or the Spider-Man meme, where they're all stood there looking at each other, and
I've seen one where it's got an entire circle of about 20 with French special centre-backs.
Oh, I was about to say, they seem to have a love affair with French centre-backs at the moment.
Oh, not just at the moment. Did you not remember last year when there was all of them as well?
Yeah.
Well,
And the year before when they were all there as well.
There's,
It's always French centre backs.
there's another, a potentially rumoured French centre-back SBC coming out.
I've heard possible rumour.
I've seen a potential leak about another promo where there's a French centre back.
I've also heard that.
Yeah.
But I'm not going
to.
I'm not going to talk about leaks
Yeah.
on the podcast.
No, and I'm not going to mention that.
People know where to find that stuff.
But if that player comes out, that would be disgusting for the game. But yeah, talking about leaked SBCs and things, obviously with a promo does come SBCs, some more objectives as well, and first of all comes usually on a Monday the upgrade packs, which we have just filmed an episode of Pack to the Future on, and they are this week 80 plus rare player picks, and you get a choice of 3, so that seems pretty good. And based on what we've seen in the episode that we've just done, they are pretty good at the moment. Now, there's loads of theories around these that they do sort of tend to get less and less juice the later you have them. I don't know whether that is a thing, but you could certainly test that theory out. And then there's an 84 plus player pick, which has 2 Team of the Weeks, 82 rated, 65 chemistry. It's a lot, in my opinion, because obviously informs will rise with this. So if you don't have them in the club, it's going to become a little bit expensive. And it is a lot because, well, like, not to ruin it too much, but I felt like that was a little lackluster. Compared to the 80s, and the 80s cost a fraction of the price, and you can still get some really good players in there.
But for me, they weren't a fraction of the price. I ended up having to sacrifice some boards possibly.
Well, yes, if you haven't already sent your club for Team of the Year, then yes, they aren't that cheap. And as we found out, what some gold rares are ridiculously priced. If you've got a Kappa in your squad that's tradable, I would consider getting rid of him now because he's 5.5k.
100.
But yeah, so you've got then the objectives. Now, the main objective card that has come out for this is Chalobah, not Nathan. It is Trevor, and yeah, he has 2 cards that you can choose from at the end, the CDM card and the centre back. Now, before I sort of speak more about what the objectives involve, have you guys looked at this, and when you get there, are you going to take one, or have you got there? Which one are you going to take?
I'm kind of most of the way there on one of my accounts. I'm mainly doing it for the XP to get my level 15 stuff as soon as possible. Okay. But yeah, I've unlocked the 83.
You've unlocked the 83, yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to be starting the managerial masterpiece.
Yeah, so you're the same as me. I think, yeah, we've got the 83, and then there's quite a bit more on the 83 to get the 85 in squad battles or rivals, and then, yeah, you do the managerial masterpiece with the 85. So, yeah, I've looked at that, and I thought, because I've seen a lot of people saying, surely everybody's taking the centre-back, and I thought, do you know what? Not only do I not really need the centre-back, but also I think, like, you could probably play the CDM at centre-back, and he's got that better passing and better dribbling.
Yeah, that's what people are saying in my comments on my team reviews, is like, take the CDM and switch it in-game, like, put a full-back at centre-back, and then switch those 2 around in-game, basically.
Yeah, because
I was about to say, I don't know who you'd been asking, but I'd absolutely be seeing everyone saying, "Don't take the centre back. That's pointless. It's got worse stats where it matters."
Well, so I saw one particular YouTuber pick the centre back, and he said, "I assume everybody's picking this centre back." And in the comments down below, it was like 100%. Yes, I'm picking the centre back. Why would you pick the CDM? And I literally I think there's the only person on there to comment saying, "Well, I pick the CDM and play him at centre back if I need a centre back," because he has all those extra attributes like the pass and the dribbling that you would want, like in terms of distribution out of your centre backs. So in that sense, I kind of like that a bit more. And I don't know what you guys have thought, but actually in using the card in like even just his 79 rated or his 83 rated version, he actually does track back really well. I think he's actually a really good defensive player in the game anyway. He does seem to be in the right place at the right time. But it does take quite a bit.
Time it seems to be getting subbed off by me in the first minute just to start getting that progression.
Right, I see. Yeah, so I am using him for the pretty much the majority of the game I've had. But let's go for it anyway. So it does need to start off with, to get the 79 rated card, you have to score 4 goals using English players. can be anywhere. So you could do that if you've got a draft set up already. You could do that if you've got a player in your team already in Rivals, or you could just go into squad battles, go on the lowest difficulty, score 4 goals, and you've got the 79 to start the objectives. Then with the 79, you need to assist 6 goals with him. So again, that can be done in one game, but then you need to score in 5 separate squad battles matches on semi-pro difficulty or in Rivals with the 79 rated future stars Chalobah in your squad. So that is 5 games guaranteed, right? So straight off the bat, your 6 goals assisted, and you can do that obviously in one game, and that can be one of your 5, but then you still need to do 4 more games with the 79 in your squad to get the 83. With the 83, you then need to concede no more than 1 goal in 3 separate squad battles matches on professional difficulty with him in your starting squad. Now, you can do that in Rivals again, but I think always with conceding, it's probably best to just get it done in squad battles, play it round the back, and there's also another reason why you'd want to do it in squad battles, which I'll come on to in a second. And then the other part with the 83 is the defensive duty, where you've got to assist using defenders in 4 separate squad battles matches or Rivals with the 83 in your starting squad. So there already takes that up to another 4 games. So that's 10 games as it stands there, minimum. You've then got, with the 83 in your squad, you've got to score in 8 separate squad battles matches on professional, or again, Rivals with him in your squad. So that's 8 more games. You've also got to win 4 matches, and that's to get, that is just the one objective then, to get the 85. So 8 separate squad battles matches with him in your squad, or Rivals games. That's 18, and then you've got the 85. Then with the rest of the 85, they are all managerial masterpiece, with the exception of the final objective, which is play 25 matches with Chalobah in your squad. That's any version at all in your squad. In the managerial masterpiece, you have got win 4 matches, assist 5 goals using him in the squad. So it's not assist 5 goals with him, you've just got to assist 5 using him. You've got to score in 10 separate matches using Premier League players, so that's an extra 10 games again. And then you've got the play 25 matches. So essentially you end up by the end of, I think 28 is the bare minimum that you can use to get him, something around that.
Let me just double check these numbers. I've just got the all ones in front of me again. So
it's like, yeah, so it's 4.
The 1 game to get him initially.
Yeah, 1 game to get him.
You've then got the 5 games to then, so that's 6. The concede, that doesn't do anything.
No, it's the next one.
Scoring 8 separate.
The 4.
So 8 separate takes that to 4.
No, the 4 one, defensive duty.
Oh, the 4 plus the 4.
Yep. Then the 8, which you've just done. And then you've got 18. The 10 separate matches.
Scoring 10.
What does that take you to? 28, yep. So 28 matches is your bare minimum that you can get it done in. And obviously it says play 25 matches with Chalobah in your squad. Well, you'll be at 27, or you actually be at 26 when you've done that, because you have to do it in the other ones anyway. So you can get it done in 28. It's not too bad. You then get the choice of the CDM. You get some packs and things along the way as well, which is not too bad at all. But then they released the Year in Review SBC. Now in this one, it's to play 10 matches in squad battles on minimum professional or Rivals games. Now if you play 10, you get it's a token essentially for the upgrade, for the token swaps when they come out, which I think is Friday. You then get, for 25 matches, you get a Rule Breakers player pack. For 50 matches, you get a Signature Signings player pack. And then for the 75, you will get a Winter Wildcard player pack. So you got a chance of getting some good players, because across these promos, there were some really good cards, weren't there? Like, you think about Signature Signings De Bruyne, or you think about Signature Signings Ben Yedder, or you think Winter Wildcards Modric, Winter Wildcards Renato Sanchez. There's still a lot of players around there that still hold massive value. Yeah, Ibra. Like, there's loads that hold massive value. So I think the encouragement to do them, I mean, 75 is a lot. If you're not committing to playing Rivals or squad battles, it's a lot. You've got 21 days to do that from now, as we record this on the Monday. But really, that's like 4 squad battles games a day, if you're going to do squad battles.
Or if you think about it this way, if you're doing Chalobah, that's 28 games that
already done.
Got at that point played.
Yeah. So you should get you should guarantee your Rule Breakers pack, shouldn't you? even if you're just getting Chalobah, to then go on and do the rest, or you might as well at least try and get to the signature signings player before you get to the end of the 21 days. But it's all up to you. It's up to you guys. That's how the objectives sit. We've then obviously had some SBCs come out as well. The first one I want to touch on is the first one that came out, because I think he is probably the most lackluster of them all. Talent Scout winner Future Stars Cabral. High medium, which is fine, but he's 3-star, 4-star, so 3-star skill moves, which isn't desirable by a lot of people. And generally his cards, I mean, he's Brazilian from the Serie A, so it's another Serie A striker when there's a lot of other Serie A strikers, especially SBCs, to use. And I think it just looks a bit underwhelming for the price. Because obviously fodder and things are generally up now for all the Icon SBCs that's still ongoing. We've still got the mid to prime Icon pack there. And yeah, it's what, an 84 rated with Brazil and an 86 rated Serie A. I'm not doing this card. Have you guys done this card?
No.
Not a chance.
It doesn't look good, does he? It doesn't like compared to where the level of Future Stars players sit. This card is a little bit below the par, unfortunately. However,
it's the price tag.
Yeah, the price tag.
The price tag that comes with that. Like, if that was maybe a 15, 20k card, then you'd go, I mean, it's something for hybrids, I guess. Yeah. But when you see that he comes in at a whopping 180k roughly,
which is in this year's FIFA market, you know.
This current FIFA market right now, yeah.
Well, and also
180K.
SBCs, a lot of the SBCs have been, what, around 100k, to be fair?
I'd much rather just have De Gea and get a player that I might actually use, who's probably, what, about 30k?
Well, it'd be interesting to like compare.
Player of the month De Gea is an 82 and an 83 rated squad. That's about what you should be charging for this guy.
What
at most.
What would be interesting to compare would be other SBC cards that have cost the same amount, just to basically give you that idea of how much this guy falls short of being as good as other cards of that same value. Let's have a look if I can find an SBC. I can't off the top of my head. It would take a little while. But
I'm thinking Zaha from
Winter Wildcards. Yeah. I don't.
Alwa maybe one of them.
I don't think I paid too much for Zaha when I did him. Let's have a look. So Wilfred Zaha, SBC, 140k. That's pretty much on the mark then. There you go. So cheaper, Premier League, and also an insane card with 5-star skills. So yeah, this card either needed to be boosted or it needed to be, like we said, cheaper. I think if you were to put this at an 84 rated with an inform, just that only, then this would have been done. People would have put their fodder into it.
Even then, I think the De Gea one is pretty much spot on for what I'd pay for this card.
Yeah.
With the 82 and an 83 of an inform, which I think that equates to 30k in this market. Could be wrong. I think informs have spiked a little bit, so that's now not as true. Yeah. But
he's definitely been priced very badly compared to the market and compared to where we're at now in FIFA and this promo. However, the next one that I do like the look of a lot is Brahim Diaz. Now, there's loads of reasons why this is a good card. He is expensive. He's 315,000. He's 4-star, 5-star, so he has got the 5-star weak foot. And he's obviously got a left mid and a cam, so it does give you the option to choose what you'd prefer. He's Spanish, so it's good for hybrids, for like anyone that packed untradeable Winter Wildcard Morales, or anyone that's managed to get Butragueno or something in their icons. Not a Kika Casillas. God, that just gave me a flashback nightmare.
What's a 10-1?
God, that's just generally that packing that was just the start of the downfall of that episode. You should go and check it out. Me and Luke did a FUT Eliminator, but that's besides the point. Or Luke did a FUT Eliminator, I just watched. So yeah, and I think he looks like a really nice looking card. Like I looking at the card stats wise would take the left wing, and then if I want to play him at cam, I'm going to switch formations in game, because I think his left wing card looks a lot better. But a lot can be said for 90 passing this year, even though after Parson was supposedly made better, I feel like it's still pretty bad. It's one of those things where I've said it the other day, actually, with all the algorithms and the mechanics that are involved in a football game, I just don't think they'll ever be able to get it fully right. The next one, though, and probably the most interesting, because again, price-wise, for how cheap this card is, and Luke says that he's come up against this card already and is very good, is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. 131k, so already cheaper than Cabral, plays in the Prem, 86 rated, one team, and he looks pretty insane. He's 4-star, jumping 99, heading accuracy 99, strength 91. Like, if there's anyone you want to whip the ball into, it's this guy. He's got 93 positioning, 91 finishing, 90 shot power. This card looks insane, and I think I will be doing this card. What about you guys?
I already have done this card.
You've done this card?
I'm probably not going to do it just because I need my fodder to finish off Bamiyang and Kaka.
That's fair enough. I mean, if you've already invested in SBCs that are there, I mean, I am definitely, while we're now talking, sinking my Kika Casillas into this SBC, as I've just been reminded at how god-awful that game was. So yeah, so he's going to go by and give me Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think he looks like a really nice card. Luke, as he mentioned just a moment ago, is obviously hoping for some more SBCs to come out that will require the future stars to be in the SBC requirements, because he has made a little investment into some of those. But then other than that, that's it for the upgrades, objectives and SBCs. There is just one we saw tonight that has just come out, but once again, if you are doing the squad battles, it will be something you'll be able to achieve. It's one of the future swap tokens, and it is Future Stars Fever. You got to score finesse goal in 3 separate squad battles matches, 5 or rivals, yeah. Assist 5 goals using a future Stars player. Score in 6 separate matches using a Bundesliga player with a Future Stars player.
That's squad battles only.
Yeah, and that one is that one is squad battles only. So that one you will have to do. So I'd advise subbing on or having a Bundesliga player in your team from now on when you're doing Chalobah, and then you've got to play 10 matches either in rivals or squad battles with a Future Stars player in your starting squad. You get some alright packs. You get a small Electrums, 2 players, gold pack, 75 plus, but mainly you get the token. We know that that was coming. They said that there was going to be a squad battles based token, and we know that there probably will be one in a pack on the horizon soon. But any of these players going to make your FUT Champs team?
For me, the DCL, if I decide to go BPL, I know I've used DCL before against. I feel I definitely used him in a squad building series this year, so I feel it might be against one of you guys, and he did well. I recall being laughed at for using him at some point.
Who was it?
He
Sorry,
actually did a job. Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
The normal
think
card.
it was against me.
Yeah, I don't recall it either. But
might
have been something I blocked out of my mind, to be fair.
It's always bronzes with you against me, so
it's true. The legend of Patrick Ferry.
Patrick Ferry from Derry.
Indeed. As for the rest of them, Diaz, I don't know if I want to sink that much into Diaz. It's one of those cards that I liked his card last year. His left wing card from Storyline was really good, like properly good for me, because I used that, and then I really liked the perfect link on the wings for AC Milan last year, because it was I can never remember his name. He used to play for Villarreal. Is it Castelleo? He had a
Samuel Castelleo
showdown last year.
Yeah.
He had a showdown last year that I really liked as well. So those two in unison were incredible for me at the very, very tail end of FIFA. So to see him get a similar card, it might convince me to do that, but it's a lot of coins to invest.
It's a lot when there's, like I say, there's a lot when there's other SBCs now that are tantalising the palate.
Yes,
certainly, like I say, the most particular one for me is the Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think he looks like a very, very, very good card.
Him with 4-star, 4 stars, big for me.
Yeah.
Seeing that is something that I look at and go, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
But I would say fodder's going to be a lot easier to get now with the changes to Div Rivals.
Yes, indeed, which is my next topic. So
Mer's in with
they
a segue.
have changed Div Rivals. He is in with a segue. So yeah, Div Rivals has actually seen some changes. That now it no longer features separate ranks. It is just one rank per division. As well as they changed the amount of games you need to win to hit the different milestones. So there's now one extra game for both. No longer 3 and 7. It is 4 and 8. At first, people were collectively groaning upon hearing, "I've got to play more games of Div Rivals. If I must." But then that sort of came to be a little bit better when they upgraded the rewards. I don't have the specifics in front of me right now, but I know that they have increased the pack rewards from just getting 2 packs a week to, in certain instances, you will see upwards of 6. Plus, I don't know if you've had a look more into it, Mers, than myself.
For Division 3, which I'm in, it's 6 packs, which was 2 before, so you're trebling your packs.
Very, very nice. Is that on the untradeable front as well, or is it 12 front?
So it's you get a choice of 6 untradeable, 3 tradable, or I believe it's half and I can't remember what the other one is, but I know, like, if you want to go tradable, it's free, which isn't too bad, to be fair.
So I know the ones for Elite, which is where I plan on ending up again. So in Elite, it's now featuring randomly a gold upgrade pack, so i.e. the 2 rare gold players. It's got a 50k pack and I believe a 100k pack plus your token.
Okay.
And I will double check on what the single rewards is, so just for the 4 wins.
Yeah, here you go. So it's 6 untradeable. So in Division 3, it's 6 untradeable, 3 untradeable, and coins, because you don't get coins now when you go full untradeable, or you go 3 tradable and no coins.
The only thing for me, so I think there's going to be different for all people, like in terms of like the levels they play at, because for me, like, it was so easy. Not that everyone's going to go, well, it's just one game, but for me, like, who doesn't get the chance to really play this a lot socially or anything, I just do like the videos for content creation. For me, it was like, if I could quickly just jump on the Rivals, get 3 wins, and then turn it off to get my rewards. That was nice. I was like, I could just turn on, play 3 games, maybe 4 games. I'm not, I've now been dropped down to Division 5 because I was only in Division 3 anyway. Because, like I say, I only play 3 games. And then, I've only got to play 3 games, get my rewards, and I get packs each week. Now I've got to up that to 4. I just think, it's just like, it's just getting more and more tailored to the people that play it more, and I don't disagree with that. It's just for those that are the casual or even less casual like myself, it was nice that I could just do 3 games and get some rewards for it. But it just means I've got to stay on and up my game to have another go at it. So it'll take an hour or just over an hour rather than an hour.
To be fair, it's just wins as well, so that's considering.
Yeah, it's just wins.
Win every single game,
which usually around Division 5. Like,
I mean, I don't even win every game in my division. So
now I'm down at Division 5. I do
along the way.
Like I've now been like.
Well, to be fair, I mean, when I get demoted from Div from the Elite Div, I get put in Div 2. I'm still playing Elite people.
Yes.
They were also so you're still playing Div 3 people.
I am, if it's not for the fact that by the time I actually play, people have probably already well advanced, because I probably didn't play my first game in Div 3 until yesterday or the day before. So I don't know when the season ended, but it's probably already been a week. So
it's coming up.
Yeah.
I think it ended on.
So
Thursday.
yeah, it's been 4 or 5 days of people already playing Rivals, and especially if they're doing Chalobah on the Rivals, they're going to get promoted quicker. So yeah, I haven't lost a game of Rivals so far. I've played 3, I've won 3. But that's just because, like I say, I'm playing in Div 5 at the moment.
Well, I've played 24 games so far. Well, I say I played 24. I haven't actually played 24. I do what I do now to like get to 90. Sometimes I just put the controller down. So I go in with a bronze squad and let the other person do whatever they want so that I can get the 90 games. And that's also what I'm doing to get the 75 games for the Winter Wildcard Pack.
Oh no, you rubber band.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I can't. I don't stand for it. It's a waste of time.
On the sub.
You might as well play if he's going to do that.
Well, the only thing with that is it requires him to be there, and being someone like maybe like myself who's got kids, you can just put that on and then go carry on looking after the kids and stuff and that, and you don't have to be at the game. So for me, I get that. I would actually, I'd be doing the same.
And plus, 90 games is a lot. I don't want to play 90 games. Like, once I've got the 8 wins, that like now, there's no incentive to keep playing to get to that 90 games.
No.
And like, if I do over the 6 weeks, I'll probably play about 60 naturally to get like those 8 wins or something like that. So I need to find those extra 30 games somewhere, and I really don't want to play them. So I'd rather rubber band those 30 games or something.
Yeah.
I find nothing worse than coming up against someone who's rubber banding, because then there's nothing for me to enjoy. I've just got to sit there, get a goal.
Because you mean you're not getting the rage quit? Is that what you mean?
Well, it's not even because the rage quit. Like, I'm not even having fun by trying to then play the game and go back and forth. It's just, 12 minutes. All right.
Yeah, I get it.
Sit there. It's boring as hell. It just, if you're gonna do that, don't bother. Just don't bother.
I mean, if they lowered it, if they lowered to 90
go.
games, I wouldn't really do it. But
yeah,
I really want that 90 games though for those extra packs at the end of the season.
Yeah, I get it.
I get it, but I don't agree with it.
Each to their own, isn't it?
Exactly.
It is each to their own.
And it's more like a means to an end. Like I say, if I quite often now, like if I don't tend to do it in Rivals, but say like when there's objectives to be done in squad battles and it doesn't require like the concede one is on there, I can't do that one obviously, but I will quite often now just start a game up, score a couple of goals and then go and leave it so it's done. Obviously that way it's for squad battles, it's not affecting somebody, but if I had to do it in Rivals I would do the same. I'd be happy to do that just because I don't have the time to sit there and play the game, but I also don't want to miss out because of that. So yeah, I'd do what I have to do.
That's fair enough. Talking of doing what you have to do, FUT Champions is on the agenda yet again. I know you two didn't play FUT Champs, but I did with a challenge. Mers over here decided to come up with the flat statement that silvers are pointless, basically.
Oh well, no. I swear my statement was something like you can't perform as well or something like that with silvers. I think that's
not that because I would have agreed.
Well, I thought you said no. I thought your original statement. Like I don't know if this is more recently in terms of this year or anything, but I know your other statement was you said that basically Silver Stars are pointless because get players outdo the Silver Stars version by the time we get to this point.
Yeah, that's what I would say with the Silver Stars. Like, you don't really see a Silver Stars outside of like
a challenge.
Silver Star objectives or another objective or something like that.
Yeah,
you wouldn't see them in champs or something like that. You might on a slim chance see them in Div Rivals, but I just wouldn't realistically see them in FUT Champs unless someone is trying to have a little bit of fun basically and just having a fun little team.
Yeah,
but and this weekend that happened. 20 people got to see this silver team. Not a full Silver Stars team because that's not possible. But mainly a Bundesliga team with a bit of an English hybrid going on. But it actually went fairly well. I mean, do you guys know how many wins I got?
I did because
15?
I saw your trumps. Your stream.
What was that?
15?
No, not 15. Out of
10.
20.
Yeah, you said 10. Yeah.
But I'll say, yeah, there was 10-1, which is a very, very fitting thing from earlier in the week. Nice little reminder. But yeah, 10 wins. We fell short at the very end of getting ranked 5, which would match most weeks for me. So the fact that I actually pretty much performed to form is actually not bad. If we'd have won the final game, the only week I've got rank 4 was the week before, so it is about on par performance,
And
which is actually concerning.
so my question to you is, did you find it more enjoyable or more stressful?
More stressful, 100%. You're having to deal with people running up and down the box, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And yeah, dealing with that with Phil Jones and Twanzebe, there's more enjoyable experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sort of like watching your stream this morning because I wasn't able to watch it last night because I had straight to bed. So I was watching it and I could see your react, like, because one match I saw, it was so close. It was 1-1, and the guy goes and scores like 2 late goals.
Yeah.
And obviously, I could see that kind of annoyed you because obviously you had that chance of potentially getting another win. You know, you only had to nick 1 goal, you get the win, but obviously then they just go and run away with it. And
But then I think that would annoy you whether it's a silver team or not, wouldn't it? Like,
I think
when they're late goals.
I think if you play with the mentality of you don't necessarily care so much, I don't think it would bother you. But obviously in this scenario where you're caring that little bit more extra because you're trying to actually
like prove a
get
point
the results and
yeah.
stuff like that, it affects your mentality a little bit more. That's why, like, this year I've tried to have a bit more of a relaxed approach to when I play games. If I lose, I lose. Like, if I don't get 11 wins, I don't get the 11 wins. And FUT Champs, I'm just like, I'll take it. As long as I get 9, I'm not too bad. But
yeah,
it's trying to have a bit more of a fun approach, I guess. But it's fun and FIFA aren't exactly the
they don't
two
go hand
words
in
that
hand, do they?
Yeah.
No, especially when you rubber band to bring us full circle.
What did you get in your rewards?
There were some games where I just got absolutely pumped. I got Red Di Maria, which is pretty good going for how shoddy this team was.
So what does 10 give you? Sorry.
That's rank 5. So I believe for rank 5 you get Premium Team of the Week pack, which was 79 rated and below, pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, because it's Did you open it?
Get yourself. I did open it stupidly. Okay. But yeah, you get 2 red picks. I believe you get a 100k pack in there as well and a 50k.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's generally the awards you get for rank 5. And the fact I got Red Di Maria, I will gladly.
You've got to consider that a win for.
I consider that a win most weeks.
For any week of a team of the week anyway, let alone a week when you've used a silver team to challenge yourself and prove, like I say, prove a point.
Exactly, and I'd just like to say, well done, Luke, on doing that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think you did very well. Like, if I wouldn't even fucking want to use a silver team myself in FUT Champs. So you doing it, I give you credit, and the fact that it's paid out in the end in such a bad team of the week, the fact that you got one of the 2 highest rated players, the only 2 86 plus, well, even 84 plus players, because everything else was
85 plus.
Yeah, basically. So very well done on
maybe
that.
Maybe EA actually saw that and thought, we're going to reward this guy. But they thought we're not going to reward you enough, so we're not going to give you a tradable team of the week as well. Like you can
give you more.
Yeah, you can have one.
We'll give you
have one. Don't be greedy now.
Which I was expecting nothing from the red picks. So the fact that I got Di Maria, I was like, who's in there? Mane and Di Maria. I was like, well, I'm not hitting them.
No.
So I'm getting some 84 rated probably.
That's fair enough. Yeah.
And even then, that's the top 5 pretty much. Like, I think there's 3 84s.
Yeah.
Because obviously AFCON plus. I was thinking if I can get Toko Akambi, I'll be very happy with my rewards this week.
Yeah.
Which when you say that and it's an 84 rated card, you think, Christ.
Yeah. Where are we at right now in February? Yeah.
But Team of the Week's in February.
Yeah, and AFCON, as mentioned. So, this week in football, as we lead on to the last segment before the Q&A, saw obviously... So first of all, let's touch on it because it was only the one game. The AFCON final was Senegal versus Egypt. So basically, Mane versus Salah. Now...
I thought you were going somewhere else with this when I heard there was just one game. It was boring. It was Watford Burnley. I mean, both were 0-0s. Just one was a more dramatic 0-0 because it had a penalty shootout.
It's that thing, isn't it? It's like, I don't know. Like I haven't watched much of the AFCON. I've seen a couple of things. Most notably, the referees' error was probably the biggest thing that I've seen in this event. But yeah, it was a little bit one of those things where like get all the way to the final and then you get some drama, but really like I think I'd rather see like a 2-0 Payston or a 2-1 scoreline than a 0-0 going to penalties. Obviously there was a little bit of drama in there. There was a penalty missed in the game, which obviously he atoned for in the end, scoring the winning penalty. But I just think generally, for me, for a final, I want to see some goals. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, yeah, as someone who's been on the end of a goalless big final for my team, which, yeah, Liverpool 2-0 was not fun to see. I'll say that much.
Yeah. But as a neutral,
especially when it happened in the first minute, as a neutral, that was still the worst final in Champions League history.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not what you want to see. But sometimes there can be an entertaining 0-0.
They can.
The thing does exist.
They can. And I think
like you can say all the finals missed was some open play goals, but the drama of penalties is still always a thing. And to me, I'd like to ask you guys the question here. I wish this had sort of come up in the Q&A section, but it didn't. Mm-hmm. What is your thoughts on having your best penalty taker go fifth?
Yeah, it's one of those things where like it's a risk to take in thinking that he's going to be the one with all the pressure on his shoulders potentially scoring the winning penalty, not taking into account that actually it could be done by then.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's risky.
I've never been on board.
It's risky. For me, I would if I was the best penalty taker, or if I was in charge of choosing the best penalty takers, I potentially would want my best penalty taker at 4. Because
still no. I'd put him at 3.
Yeah.
3.
You guarantee
him to take it. I get that. Yeah. I would think you'd do very well to miss 3 penalties. That doesn't tend to happen. So I would put him at 4, thinking that he's going to be potentially winning the game, or putting us in a position where they've got to score to keep themselves in it. But yeah, definitely going 5th I think is risky, because literally it could have gotten to that final, and after missing a penalty in the actual 90 minutes of the game, he could then have essentially not even had a chance to score to win the game overall, which...
Well, the reason I mention it is Salah didn't have a penalty. If I recall correctly. I don't believe Salah took a penalty.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
So that's my reason for raising it.
Not Mane. Yeah, I see what you're talking about.
Get his chance.
Yeah.
But Salah, just like Ronaldo in Euro 2012, when he was playing against Spain, I think it was. That's niche knowledge, but if that's correct, I'm very proud of myself. He didn't get to take a penalty in that game. There's been other times as well. Like, it happens all the time that you put your best penalty taker 5th and you've already lost the penalty shootout, and you're like, well, it didn't work for England this Euros. We put our best penalty taker first, and well, we know what happened in that penalty shootout. Sadly,
yes.
We sort of got let down by the middle to end of our shootout,
and that was a little bit down to like some of the more, in my opinion, some of the more experienced players that probably should have taken one before the newer players that did take one. In my opinion, I felt.
Well, it's bringing people on to take penalties specifically.
Yes,
as well.
that's true. That was not a good idea. Yeah.
Let's get into a whole different argument at this point.
But yeah, I see what you mean. Like if Salah takes their fourth penalty, he gets a penalty and keeps them in the game. Or like you say, if he takes the third, then he guarantees it. But yeah, it does. It's pretty interesting to see that one of the arguably best players in the world right now didn't even get to take a penalty in that game, and then also has to now go back to a team where his teammate just knocked him out of the AFCON Final. Might be a bit frosty in that dressing room, but hey, some people...
You might be the lead candidate for saying Diaz.
I was going to say, some people will say Mane's got some work to do when he comes back in now. I mean, talking of Diaz, it was a little bit worrying, touch and go there for a minute in that game when he took a knock. I think people were a little bit initially worried that he'd done his cruciate ligament in. However, it looked like an impact injury anyway, and hopefully not going to impact his career at Liverpool. Yeah, so we'll start with that game, Liverpool-Cardiff. We'll go on to the Sunday, why not? Liverpool-Cardiff, 3-1. I only saw the second half. Luke says he has some more. I didn't check this out, I forgot to.
I wanted you to check this because there was some controversy. One was at the very, very beginning of the second half, but one was first half.
Okay.
Now, it's been said that there could have been a penalty for Cardiff in the first half.
Okay.
And in my opinion, it's a very soft one, but you see them given every day.
Okay.
Like it's not one of those ones that it's a Stonewall penalty. It's a penalty. It's one of those ones that if it's given, it's not getting overturned. If it's not given, it would be harsh.
Right.
One of those.
I'm now going to have a look.
So basically, there's been a push from Kanate into the back of the player who's come across him. So he's come across him. He's pushed him. He's gone to ground. It's one of those ones that gets given every week. You see them happen.
Okay.
So there's a bit of luck on Liverpool's side not to see that given, because as I say, VAR at the game, if it's given, it stays. If it's not given, as it did, it stayed as it was and no penalty given. Yeah. But the start of the second half, this is the one that you need to see, Brad, of all of them. Kelleher is in no man's land. He's near the halfway line, going for a lunging tackle to try and get the ball from, I don't know the player who was running through. I'm not an expert for Cardiff. Mm-hmm. But there's a player running through for Cardiff. Neither of them get the ball. Kelleher catches him around the ankle, studs showing. It's the fact Kanate's there is what people are saying saved him from that being considered a last man challenge. But then there's also people looking at it from the endangerment side of it. There was two separate VAR checks. There's two separate VAR checks in that, and the man only got a yellow card for the goalkeeper.
Okay, I've just seen Kanate's.
That's game changing. That's game changing. There could have been a 1-0 lead from a penalty, which that one's less controversial. Like it's a could be not. It's on field referee's decision.
Yeah. I've just seen Kanate's, and in my opinion, that's really soft.
It's really soft, but they do get given.
Now I'm going to just see. So is this right at the start of the second half?
I believe it's 45 seconds into the second half.
Okay, I'll be surprised if it doesn't look like it's maybe not even on this highlight then potentially. It's not. It skipped straight to the 52.
How the heck is that not on that?
Okay,
I'll find you.
Yeah, I mean the other things to say about this. So Harvey Elliott, really glad to see him back from his injury and also scoring as well. And it was such a really lovely goal, really well taken goal. But yeah, I think Liverpool and penalty controversy seems to be said quite a lot, doesn't it? And stud showing is one of the biggest things this year that seems to have been in some games as a really big talking point, or in some games it's like, well, that's a no nonsense. This is stud showing. They've endangered the player. It's done. That's it. He's off. We take the episode. What was it? Kane. This Kane situation.
Kane on Robertson.
That isn't another Liverpool game. Obviously, it was a different.
That one was a Stonewall red card.
It's a Stonewall red card, exactly.
No
So, in that sense, you think that if like you say, if you've got potentially of seriously endangering a player's career by giving them a very, very nasty injury, then I don't see how it can't be anything other than a red card. Which start of the second half, it's still enough time to affect that game massively, because at that point I think it was only 1-0 to Liverpool. So yeah, so it is. Yeah, it's pretty big in terms of how that game goes. So you talk about goalkeepers charging out. I did watch the Leicester game. I have no idea what the Nottingham Forest goalkeeper was doing for Iheanacho's goal. He came out very, I mean, by this point they didn't really care. They were 3-0 up, I suppose. But he came so far out wide. This was Samba. Come out so far out wide to go and try and chase down Iheanacho. And I just, like, at the time I was watching it with my dad, and I said, I'm not really sure why he's done this. Like, they're so far wide out on the pitch. He's got a man tracking him down anyway. Like, what is this goalkeeper hoping to achieve by going for this? And sure enough, like, Iheanacho just touched it past him, took a shot towards goal, which was still a really good, a really accurate, still good shot, and they got a goal back. But that they never looked in the game. They never looked like they had. They were always under the cosh, and they never had an attacking threat in that game. And yeah, Forest were 3-0 up in 9 minutes, and that was it. Like, yeah,
I've sent you the clip, by the way.
You've sent it to me
on Twitter,
okay.
So you should be able to have a quick.
I'll have a quick gander. Yeah,
just for an opinion.
So over 9 minutes, they went 3-0 up, and that pretty much ended Leicester's. They ended their chance at qualification.
Going through. But whilst Brad checks out that clip, me and Mers will quickly cover the West Ham versus Kidderminster Harriers game, which Kidderminster have been so hard done by in that game. They put so much effort into that.
Yes.
They created some proper good quality chances.
I mean, that was it,
was
wasn't
killer.
it? The Kidderminster put in such a good defensive performance, and West Ham didn't even seem to want to try anything. They were just constantly passing the ball around. It was like almost like a game of FIFA with someone on drop back. It was just like
possibly with a silver champs team, maybe coming up against
passing the ball around
against someone,
but they did,
and they score in the 90th and the 120th.
But they didn't even try to like do a shot from distance. Like, you think, oh, okay, like take a gamble or something like that.
I'll disagree with that. Declan Rice tried a couple from range. Declan Rice was like the only player that was fired up for that game.
Yeah, but I feel it was going to happen because as the match is going on, like when you get to around that sort of like 88 sort of minute and a team is behind like by 1 goal, they then just go, fine, we've just got to shove everything up. And it just happened to be Declan Rice goes through and pops it into the back of the net, and then obviously it ends up going into extra time. And at 1-1, it's very difficult for Kidderminster because you've either got to open up a little bit, or you just go, okay, fine, we'll take a gamble and take it to penalties. But obviously it ended up being a victory for West Ham. It would have been nice for Kidderminster.
Gave it a very good go.
It would have been good payday as well if they got to next.
Yeah, Everton.
Yeah.
But Brad, it sounds like you've had a look.
Yeah, I have. Whatever happens, I mean, you can clearly see he's taken a swipe at the ball and missed it. Whatever happens, though, he's gone wide of the ball or slightly over it / wide, and as full open studs caught the player. To me, that's a red. I think that's a red. I watched it back on I watched it back on 10 times on like a little, just letting it auto play and going back there. So almost my own VAR check, and whatever happens as he makes contact, he is open studs. So to me, it's endangered the player, which is red.
Yeah, I know. When I spoke to Girk, the resident Liverpool fan of the community, he was saying it was a red card, but not for endangerment. Was his interpretation.
What was he saying the red was for?
Because of the last man.
Last man.
Because of the last man situation. That's the reason he thought it was a red, not for endangerment, if I recall correctly.
Okay. But yeah, even last man aside, I think that's a red. So if he was then also the last man. I know what you're saying about someone else being there. I would still say, I'd stay. That to me still looks like it's a red card, regardless of whether there's someone covering that. I just think that was in the second half. Start of the second half, yeah.
Yes, literally.
So
30
that was
seconds into that.
So that was at
half,
nil. That was at 0-0, I think.
0-0.
Yeah.
0-0. Balls played through. 45-37 is when the contact is made.
I don't want to stand there controversial about referees' decisions, but at 0-0, he knows that he's making a massive decision that affects that game. And we say the same thing about referees when they get, like, let's take the Mane situation. What was it, 2 minutes in? Or it was less than 2 minutes in, wasn't it? When he elbowed...
Oh, yes.
And
that was Emerson Royale?
Yes. Like, that was a sending off. Like, and...
But then so was Kane.
And so was Kane, yeah. But
the battle going on there, like, it's a whole mess.
But what I'm saying is the reason he hasn't done that, in my opinion, for Mane is because that's 2 minutes in the game and he doesn't want to affect the game. And it shouldn't be a thing.
You always should do it by the book.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a thing.
In the laws of the game.
And what they're worried about is the backlash.
Is the same as in the last minute.
What they're worried about is the backlash.
Because then you look at a game. I look at a game where someone fairly refed it, but a team got decimated as a result. Southampton 9-0 versus Man United. The new kid, I can't remember his name, snaps. Why am I tempted to say Donny van der Beek? It was someone got snapped in the second minute of a match against Southampton, red card.
Yeah.
And game changed, but you can't do what he
No,
did.
you can't, and a referee shouldn't feel like they can't make what is the right decision. Because they're going to affect the game. It shouldn't even impact their decision because it's irrelevant.
No,
it's like basically then giving the players a license to say, well, that's all right. If 5 minutes in I've got a 50-50, I can go in aggressively as I want because I'm not going to get sent off.
Because the situation was actually the same sort of thing happened back in, I'm going to say 20... When did Gerrard leave Liverpool? Was it 2015? 2016?
Not sure. Somewhere around there, maybe.
One of those 2 years. I feel it's 2016. His last visit to Old Trafford. What happens? He gets subbed on. He studs up Herrera. He's gone within 2 minutes of coming on second half, which is basically what's happened here.
Yeah.
But
I think
one was given, one wasn't.
Yeah,
given.
I think there's a lot there in terms of I think that maybe that referee.
It's the fact there's a goalkeeper as well.
In fact, there's a goalkeeper as well. This is the other thing. He's so far out of his zone that has to also play a factor in that decision. He's come out, studs up, he's well out of his area, and regardless of whether there's someone covering back, he's gone in dangerously. So yeah, I'm surprised it's not a red. And yes, it would have impacted the game. Do I think that Cardiff would have gone on and won then? Probably not, if I'm honest.
What, with a penalty and a red card?
Yeah, I think
1-0 up at the time of that.
I just think that going forward, like Liverpool have just got too much for a team like Cardiff. If I'm honest.
Well, the question is, who do they take off at that point? Because someone goes off.
They probably go to a 3-back, don't they? I would say maybe move Trent into like a midfield, take off Robertson, or take off someone or play Robertson at centre back, and then. Yeah, like move, like have because Arnold plays as a midfielder winger anyway, doesn't he? So yeah, I would say that's probably what they would have done. But yeah, like you say, at 1-0 down or potentially 1-0 down, and with one player less on the pitch, it certainly would have been more of an interesting game. I think that when it came to the Cardiff goal, when I know a lot of people were praising the young lad for Cardiff because he's had a good season for them, but I think that I think Liverpool just kind of switched off after going 3-0 up just for a second, and then they got rudely awakened by a goal, because then after that it looked like Liverpool were going to score again, if anything. The other
yeah, it's all about if
it is all ifs and buts. Yeah. The other game on that day though was the Boreham Wood and Bournemouth game, which was probably the upset of the weekend. Other than it's one of them, isn't it? There were obviously some more on the Saturday, But yeah, I would say that was probably the biggest one in terms of golf in league positions. And yeah, Bournemouth, who are sort of tipped for promotion potentially in the Championship this year, and a former Norwich player has gone off to them to see if he can ensure that promotion back to the Premier League, in Todd Cantwell.
He played in that game as well, I believe.
Yeah, came off as a substitute.
Yeah, came on just after half time, didn't he? Yeah, I think big win for Boreham Wood, and I don't know where they go next. Let's have a little look.
Boreham Wood, I believe. So I think that's the Everton game. Is Boreham Wood?
Is it? So they've got themselves a fairly good.
Well, I mean, Everton did decimate Brentford this week. It's a new look Everton, bear in mind, with a bunch of new signings and Frank Lampard at the helm.
Yes, so
we can't exactly judge it under the negative football that's being played under Rafa Benitez. No. For all that, it could be that Frank sort of does, because Frank's done well with some sort of players in the positions that he's improved, and mainly the attacking midfield role. He's proved he can work with limited budget, and he's brought in a couple players. It's just that he fell out of favour a little bit towards the time of Chelsea, but Chelsea are on a similar sort of a rut now as they were when Lampard left, so that makes Lampard look infinitely better in my opinion.
Yes.
Considering.
Yep.
I know that there's some big injuries obviously that have happened at Chelsea, so I'm not suddenly just glossing over the fact that there's a big injury to both Chilwell and Reece James.
Yep.
Because obviously that is going to factor in,
especially with how influential Reece James has been to them this year so far. Like he scored like 3 games in a row, didn't he, or something crazy. But yes, it is Everton. So that's a nice payday again for Boreham Wood. Going away at Everton, they get shares obviously of TV rights and ticket sales, so that's nice for them. Then we go back to Saturday in the FA Cup and see the main games, as you mentioned, the Kidderminster West Ham, but Chelsea Plymouth,
nearly an upset.
Nearly an upset. Pieface would have been absolutely loving that, but Marcus Alonso ruined the party in the 105th minute, and then Plymouth had a chance with their penalty to equalise in the 118th minute and take it to penalties, but unfortunately
Kepa is known for being good at saving penalties. One thing I will say.
Well,
not quite as good as Caballero, I think, in the opinion of
Big Willie.
Oh God, who was the manager?
Yeah.
No, who was the manager? Oh God, I should know it. Trying to think of that one final against City. It's the Italian manager.
Mancini.
I can't remember his name. No. Napoli guy who then went to Chelsea, brought in Higuain.
I know.
God, I should be able to remember this.
Oh God, yeah, I know who you're thinking of.
Sorry.
Maurizio
Sarri.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, Maurizio Sarri. But one thing I actually do want to touch on briefly is how disgraceful was it of Yarmolenko? I think you know what I mean here, Mers, straight away.
Oh God, yeah.
Disgraceful.
Yeah.
Actually disgusting.
I can't believe he did that.
For you who doesn't know, Brad, for those who did not watch, Yarmolenko in the 85th minute at 1-0 down against Kidderminster Harriers decided it would be a good idea to dive and try and con the ref.
No contact.
No contact at all. He's left. The guy's sort of reached an arm out as if to try and make contact to hold up Yarmolenko, and he's just thrown himself to the floor.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to see what I can find this.
It was embarrassing.
It's a blatant dive. It is an embarrassment.
Here we go. Yarmolenko diving.
West Ham fans.
Not red card. Stupid. Okay, that's a well-titled YouTube video. Yarmolenko diving. Stupid. No red card. Controversial.
Go on, watch it. You'll laugh at like how blatant of a dive it is.
Now this is the other thing, right? So this brings up another interesting talking point. If someone's diving and they're diving, like you see it happen, like someone's diving but they've had like minimal contact but they ham it up, they get a yellow, yeah? But if this is pure deception, like not even touched, Oh my goodness, he's not even anywhere near him. Then this should be a red, right? This should be a red.
I've seen people mention.
The problem is,
I've seen some West Ham fans been saying, "Joe, I wish
that's
you'd docked him a
embarrassing."
week's wages
Yeah,
and
that
give
is
it to,
embarrassing.
Kidderminster.
That is actually embarrassing.
Problem is,
Like when the commentators
no
are
VAR.
condemning you on either BBC or ITV, whoever had the rights, I can't actually remember. I feel it was BBC.
BBC.
That's like
The fact that they were condemning him openly.
yeah, that is like Kidderminster fans living rent free in someone's head. Like they have to do these little lengths to try and get back in the game. Yeah, that's embarrassing. They should be embarrassed.
That man's on 125k a week. He's the best paid player. I kid you not. Yarmolenko is paid more than Declan Rice and anyone else at West Ham.
That's disgusting.
And he's a bench rotation player at best.
Yeah, he was a bit
So that just
woeful
tells you
in
their
that
wage
game.
budget is not in the right
No,
place.
not at all.
Obviously, Rice isn't, because Rice is not signed. Rice would be if he's signing a new deal, etc. But is he going to sign a new deal?
I think it looks
At this
like
point
he's
in time,
probably
we
going to
don't
be. Well, it looks potentially off to Man U, was it? I saw.
Off the Man U, off to Chelsea, possibly is the one that he obviously grew up with. That would be, I think, his most ideal move. If he could.
Yeah.
But United needed a holding midfielder.
They
desperately.
Oh, and
They have
obviously
about
they
3 or 4
they
windows,
offloaded Donny, so
who they never even
tried in that position.
really.
Yep, which is crazy.
The man said, "Oh, I can play that position." They went, "Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
You can play on the bench."
yeah, you can play in training. Yeah. So then getting on to Everton, where obviously Donny has gone. Didn't make an appearance that day, did he? Or
No, neither did Delhi.
No.
I don't think they're in the squad.
No. But
The same went for Christian Eriksen in the Brentford camp
on their side,
as
yeah.
well.
I mean, there's obviously, I imagine there might still be some question marks around maybe his level of fitness and things, but who knows? I don't know the ins and outs of that. But yeah, certainly.
I know Spurs were trying to improve his fitness to help get
Get him match
giving
fit.
him facilities to try and help get. We weren't offering him a job. We were just like, here, you can use our training facilities to try and help get a club interested in you.
Yeah, but see you later.
Yeah, we don't want. I mean, I still think we needed that creative flair that we obviously missed with not having an Eriksen at the club.
Yeah, and
But that's if buts and
and
maybes
kind
and
and in the knowing that you're offloading Ali, like don't get me wrong, I think Ali's one of the laziest players to not reach his full potential. But I still think if you knew you were going to offload him, there would have been no harm in bolstering up your midfield with an experienced player like him who can still make a difference in the Premier League, in my opinion. Especially in big games, like he's got that experience.
He's got things to prove as well. He's basically got to prove himself all over.
Yeah, he
again.
has. Yeah, you're right.
In a positive way.
Yeah, that he should be back doing this and not resting at home or sat in punditry. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so yeah, Everton won 4-1 fairly convincingly against Brentford, with Ivan Toney getting a penalty for Brentford. But other than that, not a lot else to say there. Other sort of notable games: Man City beat Fulham 4-1. Wolves lost to Norwich. I didn't see that game. My dad watched the game though and said that Norwich actually were really quite impressive and performed
Did you watch
really
the
well.
Chelsea game?
Sorry?
Did you watch the Chelsea game?
No, I didn't. I don't think I watched.
I thought you were a Chelsea
I
fan.
don't think I watched any on the Saturday. What was I doing Saturday?
Yeah. Chelsea
For those
fan.
wondering, watch Pack to the Future for this, for why this is relevant. But
Yeah. No, Saturday. What was I doing Saturday? It was my nan's birthday. I was out all day Saturday. So
was you watch the Chelsea game?
So
Got
yeah,
it.
I wasn't around to watch any, but I did watch a couple of the Sunday games. And then the only other noticeable one was Tottenham to beat Brighton 3-1. Harry Kane netting 2 there. So as we go on to, as we always do, team of the week, and we'll look at the Aaron. Is it Aaron Grimer or Grimmer that does the predictions? Aaron Grimmer does the predictions for team of the week for Footbin. It shows on here, so no FA Cup ones in this.
Yeah,
they tend to
man of the match cards.
They tend to
Man of the match cards always.
So These games are going to be from obviously European football mostly. The most notable one at the moment on there is another upgrade for Anderson Talisca. So he looks like he's going up to an 87 rated card. So those that did his one to watch at the start of the year are getting another upgrade on that. Still, in my opinion, doesn't make him that usable, but it's nice to see him get another upgrade. The only other high ones on there is Jordi Alba at left back, which he's nowhere near the Alba of previous years, and also Manuel Neuer getting a 91 in form, so good for icon SBCs and high rated team of the week fodder, etc. Other than that, usable players, I mean Danilo Pereira, I think he opened the scoring up for PSG, but I know they had a massive win against Lille, something like 5-1. You got Pablo Sarabia as an 83 rated card. I mean, that guy's got only 74 pace on the right wing, so again, most of these are just going to be informs for SBC fodder, even if you are going to, like Luke said, if you get premium team of the week packs, even if you're going to bother opening them for this, most people I imagine will probably wait till all the leagues return fully next weekend. Any couple of nice looking low rated cards in here? Not really. I mean, I'm going to ignore the Colombian in there. I know that you guys probably would want to touch on him, but he doesn't look that great, does he?
What's his name?
Morelos, the guy from Rangers, is it?
Oh yeah, that'd be decent for links with the likes of Tav, the new Haji card that wasn't touched upon in the earlier bit. That's decent links. I'm sure I'd force it into something if I really wanted to.
Yeah, if you want to do a full Colombia team.
I'm shocked to hear there's no mention of Thomas Müller on there at all for a third inform, because he did get 2 goals against Leipzig this weekend.
Yeah, and they won 3-2.
And he did get a disallowed goal as well. 3-2 disallowed goal plus 2 goals. So Thomas Müller probably is a sort of a shout to boost rating. Didn't see the full extent of the game.
Yeah, it seems strange in the 3-2 that Manuel Neuer is the one mentioned on here, doesn't it? Because
it says that he made a couple of crucial saves, though.
Okay.
I missed the first half. I watched pretty much most of the second half. At that point, I know the deciding goal in that match was an own goal by Gvardiol.
Yes, I did see that. Yeah. But then you got Jonathan Tah for the game versus Dortmund, I believe.
I didn't catch up.
They won. So they won 5-2 away at Dortmund. Jonathan Tah on the score sheet there. I like the tagline on that as well, as Dortmund left Wirtz for wear as Leverkusen run Wyatt. He didn't actually. Doesn't feature in the informs on there, but Jonathan Tah for his goal, and actually his defensive and physical stats are nice, but again 72 pace maybe falls a little bit short. I know we said it's not as important this year, but probably now as we get further on in the game it does fall just a tad short. Tarkovsky, I remember when he had a really lovely inform, was it last year or a couple of years ago, whereas 84 meant that he had decent pace and really good defensive stats.
I'm tempted to say that was 20.
Was it it could be 2 years ago. Yeah.
I remember he had multiple informs that year, whichever one it was. It was either second or third.
It was something like that. I think it was his third or second. Yeah, he did. He had a couple. I think it probably was FIFA 20. Marco Asensio in the Real Madrid game. Now, I saw they played Granada. I didn't see the end result because. That was 1-0. Okay, did he score it? Yes, he did. So there we go. Marco Asensio for the last, the goal in the 74th minute to beat Granada. But yeah, other than that, everything's a bit lackluster. Team of the week just kind of is as a promo at the moment, other than for needing informs for SBCs. The only good thing is there's a couple of I think second informs for players from other leagues that would be good to pack for fairly high rated inform fodder. There's Unal and this guy Levadja that look like they're getting their second informs to be 84 rated, so just packing them will be good for SBCs if you can get your chemistry elsewhere. Unal, obviously, Getafe, so it's not too bad for him, but I don't know where this...
I can confirm Unal definitely has an inform previous to this.
Yeah, 81, wasn't it?
I invested in him for 10k.
Yeah, but
Yes,
this
it was.
LAJS guy, I'm guessing has an inform, but I don't know if he looks like he plays for like Sparta, not Sparta Prague or something. LAJS. No, he plays for the same one as who's that left mid who gets a team of the season all the time? Hajduk Split. Orsic, yeah. Does he play for Hajduk Split in the Croatian league?
No, he plays for. Oh Christ, we're getting into.
No, Orsic plays for Dynamo Zagreb. Yeah,
that's the one. I couldn't remember it. I know they're not talking about.
No, the badges look fairly similar as well. They've got like red checks on them. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, so a couple of good 84 rated fodder ones there, but other than that, not a lot else to say about Team of the Week. I would probably say if you are grinding out and getting your premium Team of the Week packs, you're probably going to save them.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
let's be honest. I really shouldn't have opened mine this week.
No, but I mean, there's still. I mean, Amane and Di Maria is still a little bit more tempting than this one. Like this.
I mean, entirely valid, but
I know what you mean. You probably would have hold it still, but yeah, you're doing this one just to get 91 Neuer, which isn't going to fit in most people's teams, and also as a red pick, he's only going to go into fodder, isn't he? So you might as well save it. And as a 91 rated inform, not sure what it'd be worth. Maybe 80k.
Let's have a look.
If I remember rightly, I sold my Harry Kane 91 inform for 69k, 70k.
Yeah.
And that was during a big boom for Icon SBCs.
Yeah.
I think.
And that's the other thing. It's going to depend if there's going to be anything come up, isn't there, in terms of SBCs and things.
Cheapest 91 rated is 72k for an inform.
Yeah, so pretty much, yeah.
Is that Harry Kane?
That's Benzema.
Ooh. Oh yeah, recent. Course.
Yeah. So that's all it's going to be worth. I think generally everyone will be saving theirs if they do it this weekend. And none of those cards look like they would make anyone's teams if they got red picks, other than the odd objectives here and there. But that is it for the Team of the Week and covering the FA Cup and obviously some of the European games there. We now are hopefully going to hear from Mers, because you've probably heard how croaky he is, about our Q&A this week.
We have got the Q&A, and we're going to start off with a food-based question.
Yeah, baby.
So, Girk has asked, very simply, crisp sandwiches, yes or no? Now, obviously, he just says crisp sandwiches. Now,
so you're talking about on their own?
Yeah, bread, crisps.
And butter.
Done.
Yep.
And butter, or if he means you have your ham and cheese and you stick some breaded salty crisps in it or something. But, would you have a crisp sandwich?
Yep.
Is that just plain, or would you have that with an actual filling?
I'd have both, to be fair. I mean, I don't. If I was like, generally I have. So if we have, like today, we had lunch. So I made ham and avocado sandwiches today, and with that I always have a packet of crisps. And when I have a packet of crisps, I'm one that when I take a mouthful of my sandwich, I take a crisp at the same time, because I like the texture and I like the different flavours. So in that sense, there'd be no reason why I wouldn't just stick crisps in the sandwich either. I'd be happy with that. But I do love a crisp sandwich. I feel like it has to be a fairly nice flavoured crisp though. You can't just be going and having like a ready salted one. I think that's just a little bit, boring.
Okay, so
maybe.
What sort of flavour are we talking?
I'd like a nice sort of steak McCoy's.
I knew it. I was. If I had my whiteboard in front of me to write something down, I was saying some form of barbecue flavour.
Yeah.
I was gonna say this compared to when you criticise GH for the barbecue base not being mentioned.
Well, that's only because I can't have tomato base because it upsets my stomach. But so I'm always used to a barbecue base in terms of pizzas. But yeah, I like a sizzling steak McCoy's would be nice in a sandwich, I think.
They are very nice. Generally, I've not normally had too much of stuff like that. It's not something I've exactly done. Is have crisps in a sandwich. It's probably something I should try at some point, but it's never really appealed to me.
It's just, I think, like from my days
to have them as a part of a meal deal separately. Sure, I'll have my sandwich and then I'll eat the crisps.
Is that the way you do it though? Do you eat the crisps afterwards?
Normally, yeah.
I think
and I have the drink to wash it down if I'm doing a meal deal. Yeah.
I think mine is kind of probably like coming from like a household that had to manage on a budget, so I probably would have had a crisp sandwich every now and then. But yeah.
I was about to say, yeah, now that's evolved to avocado on toast.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do.
The avocado.
The avocado. I do love avocado. Yeah, it's one of my favourite things.
I do as well. Avocado is great.
It's so malleable, and so like you could just do so many things with it. Like
there's nothing worse though than one that's not ripe. Trying to do something like a non-ripe.
No.
Avocados.
And I also hate it when you get like you think, oh, this is a nice one. You get in it and there's just loads of brown or black stuff, and you're like, well, this, I didn't know this from the outside, because how am I meant to tell? But yeah, I do love avocado. We've introduced it to the boy already at 6 months old, and he likes to mash it up mostly. But yeah, it's nice. What about you, Mers?
I don't think I would have a plain crisp sandwich. I think I'd have it on top of like a ham and cheese or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like if I went for one, maybe like a kale crisp or something like that, so you got that extra crunch when you're like biting into it. But it would probably be something like a red and salted or the red onion and cheddar, I think is that they do.
Yeah, the yellow pack, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically. That sort of like flavor.
Other crisp brands are available, obviously, guys. So the other thing that sort of leads me on to then is like, do you kind of have a go-to crisp? So like Luke was alluding to, like with meal deals, like if you get a meal deal, do you think about what you're having with it, or do you think, no, these are just the packet of crisps I'm buying?
So a majority of the time, because obviously I work for Tesco, so meal deals is the ideal lunch essentially.
Yeah.
So when I have like today, so I went to my go-to sandwich most of the time, which is chicken, bacon, lettuce.
Okay.
Then crisp wise, I do only choose from like a small pool. I think majority of the time I tend to go for the knickknacks, nice and spicy.
Oh yeah, okay. Like your style.
I hadn't had Monster Munch in a while, and I noticed that they're back in stock. So I went with pickled onion Monster Munch today.
Okay.
I like Doritos as well. Sometimes McCoy's as well. McCoy's, I tend to go for the Thai sweet chili one.
Thai chicken.
Yeah, chicken one. Yeah. But yeah, like, because there's quite a lot of variety in terms of the crisps. And then drink wise, I mean, today, because of my throat, I didn't go for a fizzy drink, so I just went with a Tropicana Tropical drink. And then I also got I know you can get chocolate bars in the meal deal, so I had crisps as well, but I also went with Twix salted caramel.
Mm-hmm, right.
So that was my meal deal today. So it was like Monster Munch, chicken, bacon, lettuce, the Monster Munch, and the Tropicana. But yeah, it is. You can't beat a good meal deal. To be fair, like for £3, it's not bad value.
Yeah, I agree. I think like I didn't go there, but on where I now work, still part of the ambulance service, but in a different department. There's a Sainsbury's nearby, and I went and had their meal deal the other day. I just had a chicken and sweet corn in their meal deal, but I do have, like you say, it's not. I don't have a particular packet of crisps that I would go for, but I do have a pool of crisps that I would probably choose from in the meal deal. And it doesn't factor on, I know a lot of people think, like they say, like, oh, they go and get the expensive stuff so they get the most value out of their meal deal, in terms of like the cost of what that stuff would usually be. So they go for like the seafood because it's the most expensive stuff and things like that. But I don't eat seafood, so that doesn't apply to me. But yeah, I if I have a Subway, and this is because they're limited options on crisps because they don't have exactly the most choice in there, I always have tangy cheese Doritos, and I'm always pretty gutted when there's not any in there. I will then go to the chili heat wave, and if they haven't got them, then I probably won't have crisps at all. And we'll just settle for whatever I've got at home, or maybe just not have crisps at all.
Doesn't go for the cookie instead.
No, I'm not. I don't tend to like have sweet stuff much in my lunches anymore. Every now and then I'll take like I do like if we go shopping, I think to buy like a multi-pack of a chocolate bar, and most of the time it's probably Snickers, because I do like a Snickers. But yeah, generally, like, yeah, that is the cheesy Dorito is the crisp I'd choose there. If not, then it's like Walker's Paprika. I love a Walker's Paprika crisp. The McCoy's, I'm with you. It's either the steak or it's the Thai sweet chili chicken ones. But yeah, I wouldn't go for like just a plain like salt and vinegar or ready salted or cheese and onion. I do like something with just a little bit of difference.
Yeah.
Or Flamin' Hot Monster. Flamin' Hot Monster Munch are good. I love a Flamin' Hot Monster Munch.
I'm going to come in with the hot take here.
Yeah.
Which, you know, doesn't happen most weeks. It's normally one of you two that comes in with a hot take and then there's an explosion. The explosion that I'm going to set off is I've never had a Monster Munch.
Whoa.
That's interesting. Because as a kid, I think that's like a very...
Probably
sort of
one of
go-to...
the crisps. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Space Invaders.
I wonder if Space Invaders were a little bit before your time. I mean,
I saw
when
them.
I saw them when I was a kid. Like Space Invaders, Cherry Toms, they were called, and there was another one, a beef flavored Transformers crisps or something they were called. They were the ones they were the free like budget crisps that were like 10p. Your Walkers and stuff and that were still more expensive. Whereas now, kind of crisps generally just all seem to be the same price unless you get like a Tesco's own brand or anything, and generally they're mimicking another big brand anyway. So even if you didn't have like actual Monster Munch, I would expect you'd have had like, I don't know, Aldi's Monster Claws or something, like, you know, there's something similar.
Those aren't quite as good though.
They're not quite as good, but they're, you know, fairly similar, and like the Flamin' Hot, if you're a fan of like your hot food and things like that, I would say get the Flamin' Hot if you're going to try it. They're really good, really tasty.
Yeah, I mean, I've not had anything similar, none of the sort of ones similar, but my sort of ones of go-to choice for like crisps are the Walker's Max sort of steak ones, because they were the ones that were in my vending machine at work. Then the steak, flame grilled steak for McCoy's. Normally something of that sort of style, I guess.
Do you like the what were they called? What are they called? T-bone steak? What was it? I think it is the one.
Oh, Seabrooks or something like that.
They're a white packet, aren't they?
Yeah.
With
I think they're called Seabrooks.
Yeah, that's it. Seabrooks. Sure. Yeah. The T-bone steak of them, they're lovely.
Don't think I've seen.
As steak crisps go, they are. Yeah, they're good.
You normally find them in like B&M or something like that.
Yeah, they're
easily.
not in. They're quite niche now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've personally not had a chance to have them, but one of the ones I also have is sort of the Walker's Sensations.
The big bag ones.
The big bag, of course.
Yeah, I like their they've got like a. They do them, but then they've got like a poppadom one or something. It's like a lime and something. They're really nice, like a crackers or poppadoms or something. I do like the Walker Sensations. I like that sort of thing. I like something that's got, you know, it's not just a plain crisp, it's something a little bit different.
Yeah, for me, I've when I have a meal deal, like the thing that I'll actually go to Boots or Greg's normally, are my two sort of local sort of ones to my work. There is Sainsbury's there as well, but depending on where I go, it's chicken sweet corn at Sainsbury's, something similar with chicken sweet corn at Greg's, but it's in a baguette.
Yeah.
And then at Boots, because you mentioned it, if you can get away with the value, get away with the value.
Yep.
There's a chicken triple there that you can get for the same price as anything else in the meal deal. So you just get three sandwiches for the price of one.
Yes.
Plus chicken triple, which is chicken stuffing, just chicken and chicken sweet corn.
Yeah.
So you might as well.
I am with you there. So if I do go in and there's a triple that I like all 3 sandwiches, then I would go for that before I'd go for any double. But I wouldn't go for like the most expensive ingredient, like some people would go down to that kind of in terms of, like I say, seafood or some of the like I probably would have guacamole out of choice, not just because it's one of the most expensive ingredients in a sandwich.
That's fair.
But I hope I've answered your question there, George, anyway.
Right, Gurk.
As we dive... Gurk, sorry,
George,
yeah.
George
not GH.
Question.
We're not answering GH's question.
Oh, yeah, I mean, GH, if you are listening, no one would do that. There we go, answered.
Take the 91 days.
Yeah. Was it GH or was it Roman?
It was GH. It was
91
GH.
days, that was GH.
Right, it was GH. Right. Yeah. To be fair, I think we've answered that. We've gone quite long with that question with crisps, with the recording. So I think we'll probably leave the Q&A at that for this week, because the other question was Venom and not talking about the FA Cup, which unfortunately Venom. We have spoken about it, but if you've got to this point, you would have already known that.
It's a this week in football,
question.
and there's not a lot else to talk about. So yeah, I'm sorry, mate. But...
Jotman, this is a brief ender. He did have a follow-up question.
He did actually,
which is, how do you cope with losing to Nottingham Forest?
By inflicting more pain on yourself by submitting 200k's worth of players on FIFA into an SBC.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's how you cope.
True.
I suppose, and then as far as losing that as badly as that, you need to ask a Leicester fan. Which, I'll maybe switch to Leicester next week.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it.
Switching allegiances.
Yeah. From Norwich to Chelsea. What's it going to be next week?
Oh, we'll see what pick my fancy. I'll see what colour I'm interested in that week.
Yeah.
So we're going to be seeing a collab between Brad and V10 Vernon coming soon. This is obviously sarcasm. This isn't actually a thing, but with switching allegiances, I'm sure they'll both be enjoying. Let's just toss a coin. What are we saying? I don't have a coin. Flip the rubber. Oh, the rubber of truth has said.
Boy, I heard that. That sounded like a big rubber.
Stat Renee next week.
Stad Renee? Oh, yeah.
Stat Renee
That's
next
fine.
week.
They've got some good players.
I'm going to follow some Doku.
Yeah.
Right
back. Yeah.
That is it for this week's Q&A, and if you want to submit your questions, feel free to join our Discord. We have a section in there that you can submit your questions at any point during the week, and then obviously we'll have a look at those, and hopefully we'll try and cover some in the podcast recording. But that is it for this week's recording of the podcast. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you Brad and Luke for putting up with my croaky voice.
Not a problem, mate. Not a problem.
And, no worries. We're forcing you to do this outro anyway.
Yep. And we'll see you all in the next episode. And don't forget to check out all our other FSB content. Bye bye, guys.
See you later.
Peace out.